I'm Scott Trout, CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Contact CordellCordell.com, 1065 East Hillsdale Boulevard, Suite 310, Foster City, California, 94404.
Think technology's tricky.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
I'm the Brad Nolan part, at Brad Nolan on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else.
I'm Brian Moote, and you just have to Google me. I'm not going to do this whole branding thing.
There's not a lot of Brian Mootes out there. There's only the one.
Actually, it's not true. Right now, I'm aware of 3, and they have all weirdly contacted me for various reasons.
Like lately, or just over the course of your career?
This is a story that maybe some of you listening, by the way, thanks for hanging with us today. If you listen to the Burt Show, the radio show I was on in Atlanta, this happened for real. I used to get emails from a woman named Janice Moote for a guy named Brian Moote who lived in Salt Lake City. I used to get all these emails, and I ascertained from the one-way correspondence.
So you never replied?
I replied a couple times with, haha, that's funny.
Oh, but not saying, hey, I'm not that Brian Moote.
No,
okay.
I felt weird because I could tell this lady was old because she'd write stuff like, Grandpa and I wish we could make it down to Salt Lake City, but he's getting old and can't travel, but we put in a new dock at the lake. And I found out through just these emails from Janice that they lived in the Tri-Cities in Washington, and they were Mormon. And they kept sending me stuff for Brian Moote, and his email was brian.moote. Right. So I kept trying to I'd get emails from random, I got one from a military recruiter who was interested in him maybe being an engineer for the Air Force. And then I finally figured out who this guy was. So I just started forwarding him to him.
Yeah.
And I got no reply. And then I tried to friend request him on Facebook as Brian Moote in Salt Lake City. Denied. And it was starting to get kind of awkward. And then one of his wife's friends lived in Peachtree City, Georgia, reached out to him, and he called the radio show after we had wrapped for the day. And I was downstairs in the gym going number 2.
Okay.
Because I don't do that in the radio station bathrooms, by the way, are a god-awful, disgusting mess.
They are. That's a fact.
Why are they worse than every other business in the world?
No, you don't have time to really contemplate the things you need to be doing the correct way. You just have to get back to the studio.
Also, that's one thing I would give you points on if this were Family Feud, top 5 reasons that bathrooms are gross at a radio station. But the other thing, too, is that people are up early in the morning, and you're eating disgusting stuff, and it's just so gross. And you don't really know what the hell, what's put in your body's going to respond, so they just smell awful and disgusting. So I'm downstairs in the bathroom, I get a text, get up to the studio now. And I get up there, and Brian Moote is called in, and we have the most awkward conversation on the radio ever. He's a nice guy. He came out and saw me do comedy in Salt Lake City.
It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan, and now we know the other Brian Moote.
That's one of them. There also is another one.
Okay. All right. What do we actually want to talk about here?
Well, okay. I want to do if you listened to the last episode, my brother was on. He and I taped that conversation about a week and a half ago. He has found out that he has, I don't want to say, it's hard to say colon cancer. It weirds me out. So it's cancerous cells in his colon. He doesn't get his polyp removed and part of his colon removed, he's going to eventually die. So
right. So difficult conversation. It's stage 0 cancer, meaning, I mean, that's not officially the name of it, right? But if they can get a handle on it now, It should be okay. But that was a pretty difficult conversation. You guys tried to make light of it, but it was an interesting conversation. It's up right now. It's the episode prior to this one.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. It's important to him that people listen because I think the message we're trying to spread with him in this whole battle with surgery and screenings, and he might have to do some rounds of chemo to make sure they zap anything that was around the polyp with the cancerous cells, is the fact that he was the one who asked for a colonoscopy. Like, his doctor had said, you're fine, we did all these tests, it's probably just, you could have celiacs, or you could have IBS, or maybe even Crohn's. And he requested a colonoscopy. They said he didn't need it, and that's where they found the polyp. And this polyp is big enough that it's a real problem.
I was living with your brother at the time he was going through some of this, like the pre-finding this out stage, and he was like, man, I don't feel good. Like, I just don't feel good. I had, like, my stomach is in serious pain. And then we had, like, a week-long running joke about constipation and stuff like that. And he's like, I really need to get a colonoscopy. I got to force my doctor.
We made a joke about, like, 14 days. We had Poop Watch, or Pat's Dump Watch on, like, episode 5 or 6 of the show.
And it was one of those things where it was like we were all making fun of it, but then he's like, I have to get a colonoscopy, and I'm like, why are you voluntarily doing?
Dude, no one likes
crazy.
These. They shove a camera up your butt.
Yeah, and I told him a couple stories about the one that I had when I was younger, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it, and it's just one of those things that he finally pulled the trigger on, kind of against his doctor's wishes, which is the weird thing.
More or less. We're gonna have a conversation on Friday. A conversation will be up on the podcast show where he's going to play some audio that he's secretly taped from doctors, like really being arrogant pricks about what he should and shouldn't do, and acting offended when he wanted a second opinion. And one of his doctors was like, second opinion for what? I already told you what you need to do. And my brother was like, don't you just think that everyone should get a second opinion?
In general, like, especially with medical stuff.
No kidding. So he wants to make sure he wants to follow his journey, especially men too, so they realize, like, you're not indestructible, you can't just walk it off. It took us a little while to air the conversation. This is kind of something that's foreign to me as someone who works in radio, where I'm like, it happened, let's talk about it tomorrow. Because my mom got real mad because she hadn't talked to anybody about it, and she didn't want all of our family members and cousins and stuff finding out from a radio show that their cousin had potentially had colon cancer, or literally will have cancer if he doesn't take care of this. And so at first I was like, it's not about you, Mom. Pat wants to chronicle this journey. And then I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm making it about me too, because I'm like, let's talk about it.
It's funny because I always get the initial reaction text from you, and the text that goes, let's not put that one up because Mom's being a jerk.
Yeah,
like,
she
got some mom issues.
Well, she was kind of being a jerk, but I also get where she's coming from. She did make it about her a little bit more than I would have liked it to be, because I still, like, it is about Pat, but also she was right. She was correct that you don't really want family members finding out, because when we taped the conversation, he didn't really know. He didn't know if it had spread. He didn't know what surgeries he was going to need. He didn't know anything, except he knew that he had a polyp with cancerous cells. And so now we have those answers, and we will talk about it on Friday.
Yeah, I think the other episode is just enough information to go, oh, this is a problem, but not enough information to say, oh, it's okay, we're getting it figured out.
Exactly.
And so we gave it, a few extra days. We gave it the time it needed,
About as much as I needed. About as much as I need. And Pat wanted it to go out too, because he now has more information and wants to talk about it and share his journey. So we're going to do that. That's going to be on Friday.
And if you need to get caught up, please do that. It's the show right before this. You can find it online at brianwithbrad.com. Which sounds like a dating site.
It sounds like it's our dating site.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know what it sounds like? Our wedding registry.
Well, maybe it will be. I don't know.
I mean,
we're both pretty terrible at being in relationships. Maybe
true.
At the end of the day,
hit tough times, man.
That's funny. It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote.
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
And Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just two boys without man buns.
If you're finding this out in the middle of nowhere and you're like, how the hell did I land on this? It came from the internet. You can find it at brianwithbrad.com. There are plenty of episodes there for you to catch up on. I'm Brad Nolan. Brian Moote is here.
And I also have an app that you can listen to the podcast
that's right.
through. All you have to do is text Moote, M-O-O-T-E, to 36260. It's a free app. It doesn't even exist on your phone, technically. It's a web-based app, so I can't track your movements. I can't sell your information to the Russians, but I can put up podcasts that you can listen to. And you can also text me and tell me what you think. I think that's what I'm liking the most, is that you can text me on my text line, and it goes directly to my phone, and then I can correspond with you. And it doesn't have it's on your text. It's not. It's cool. So I'm trying to start a thing where if you have my app, send me drunk wisdom texts. I'm starting to come with I'm putting together a montage of the drunkest wisdom that you ever have at a bar, and so far I got some pretty good ones. So I'm gonna build that collection slowly.
I'm pretty impressed by it, actually, because I'm kind of a tech nerd, and I'm usually wholly unimpressed by things.
Yeah.
And when you first showed it to me, I was like, are people gonna
make it better?
Are people gonna do a thing and da-da-da? But you go to, it's so easy to use.
Yeah.
And you can, and it's everything, Brian, right? So it's not just this show. It's also, Brian's on another show that I executive produce. You can get involved with that. The direct messaging, the texting, and all that stuff is great because it's just a legit text, and you have all your social stuff on there. So
and calendars and stand-up videos, and but I do think the coolest part is you can legitimately text me. So I was in a green room in Atlanta at City Winery, and I flew in late from Nashville. I came in hot mess, and I was sitting in the green room. And I had like a bit of a stomach ache, so this is the second time I've referenced being in the bathroom in one show, which is uncomfortable for me. But anyways, I'm in the bathroom, and I get another text. I get a text from someone in the crowd, and they're like, yo, there's some wild bitches in the front row. And I wrote back, I can't wait. And they're like, oh my God, this isn't just Brian's PR person.
No.
And I was like, the funny, how cute you think I have a PR person.
Right. I think, though, at some point I'm going to somehow get involved in the texting side of this so that I can so I control people who are texting you. Just start a secret profile. Right. This is the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
We're going to talk about fails, Brad.
Fails.
Live fails.
We've both had a few of them, and it's good because ours are more public than most people's.
Well, I think that's the great part about live radio, live television versus produced and scripted is that you just got to roll with the live. So on radio, when you say the wrong word or your brain just like gives up on you, that happens.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Where you're just talking and all of a sudden you're like, I don't even know that. No, I was gonna say a word and then that one escaped me, and now I'm just in a spiral of nonsense and panic.
Yeah. And
what inspired me today was, and I love KellyAnne Conway. I don't care if you love or you hate President Trump. If you can't appreciate KellyAnne Conway, it's like they pull her out of the White House like one of the robots from Westworld who just has their brain in backwards because she just has to. She's got this look like she doesn't know what's going on all the way. She's very good at her job, and she just always has to spin whatever's going on in the White House into CNN, you're wrong. And today they were talking about President Trump disinviting the Philadelphia Eagles to the White House and instead having a patriotic music festival just because of all the kneeling and whatever. I don't want to get into that. But she said on live television, she called President Trump the commander of cheese. And it's my favorite thing that's happened this week.
I have the audio.
And the problem with the President of the United States and the Commander of Chief expressing that opinion.
But I gotta be honest, man. I think two things. I think one, Commander of Cheese would be an amazing job.
Yes.
And two, I'm not sure Trump doesn't think he isn't the Commander of Cheese. If he wanted to be.
I have multiple issues with this. One, it's not commander of chief, right? It's commander in chief.
Right.
And that's just my own personal political,
so she
heartbreak.
Blew that one regardless.
Blew it regardless. But then she's like, that came from such a deep place.
The commander of cheese.
Know?
She's hungry. Get that bitch a sandwich.
Like, I want it to be that surface level, but I also want it to be, she legitimately thinks the guy's like the cheesiest piece of junk in her life. And she's like, commander of cheese. It's like her nickname that she has offline for him. That
you think she just blew it?
I think
like she outed her like secret nickname that the president would hate because, he is a big showman. He's all about the show. He's all about the production. He is all about big, loud, make it about me. And she's like, he's all about the cheese. And do you think she let it slip?
I honestly, I hope that's what it is. I hope, like, deep down in my soul, I hope everyone in that White House has a terrible nickname for him. And hers just happens to be as dumb as Commander of Cheese.
That would be an amazing thing to get everyone in there is in their candid moments.
Yeah.
Because Trump has nicknames for everybody.
Yeah.
Crooked Hillary, crying Chuck Schumer, sleepy-eyed somebody.
Little Mikey Pence pants. Heard that one somewhere.
But what was funny to me is that makes me happy. Just hearing Commander of Cheese, hearing KellyAnne Conway just say...
The Commander of Cheese.
Just makes me happy. I could play that 1,000 times. Commander of Cheese. And she says
Commander of Cheese.
She says it so matter of fact. But what's funny is I had a complete live fail this week on the radio, and it's when we were talking about the Miss America pageant, and they're going to take away the swimsuit, and they're going to take away the evening wear, and they're going to make it more about, people regardless of their sizes. They just want their thoughts and things. And I was cracking jokes about how I was going to miss the dumb answers that chicks have. And we were coming out of a break, going into a song, and I was in that moment trying to get the audio from the famous Such As girl from South Carolina, and I didn't know I was going out over the air.
Here you go.
I don't want to say it, but the smarter the girls get, the less entertaining the answers.
There it is. 877-97. One hits number to call or text. Has the Miss America organization gone too far with these new changes, or do you totally agree with them?
Yes, Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have them, and that are as education, like such as South Africa and everywhere like such as. And I believe that they should. Our education.
It is magic. It actually is magic. Because Charlie Puth is sounding so sad, and how long has this been going on? And she's going, if you haven't heard her audio, she's basically blaming the fact that a lot of people can't find certain places on a map, America on a map of the world, is because we don't have maps.
Because we don't have maps. And
we're not giving out maps.
And such as the people in the Iraq and the Asia don't have the maps
and
either.
And the South Africas, and we need to get more maps out to the world. And you could just see on her face, like her wheels are spinning, and she's going to have a meltdown, and now she's just doing donuts. And she's just in circles, and I just love it. It sounds, it's just pure magic that it was over the top of Charlie Puth, and it was just like, he's confused, she's confused, and it sounds like a montage you play at a graduation where they're playing clips from the school year, and it's Green Day, right? Whatever song it was.
Some motivational thing. Oh. Our boss was thoroughly confused and running down the hallway at this point, which was a whole sub thing that I enjoyed. The on-air, live mistakes, one of the ones that I was part of was we were doing 2 radio stations at once. So we were live on one radio station, and we were recording breaks for another radio station. One of the stations was called Big Country, and the other station was called My FM. So when we go live on this station, we go My Country.
Yeah.
But without the RY.
Oh, no!
On the air, live.
You said My C-Bomb?
Yeah, and it was just like, and then you just your brain shuts down. You can't say anything.
You had some guy who was like, wait a minute, was that a Toby Keith line?
Yeah, wait a second. I
don't know about that My C-Bomb stuff.
Trying to listen to some Katy Perry. Yeah, the live thing is the most nerve-wracking thing on the planet.
You just gotta be able to laugh at the jokes, man. Did you hear my stomach make that noise?
That's the best stomach noise
ever.
All right, one more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
All right, you can download the app. We're going to send you a link. You don't actually download anything, actually. It's just a web-based system.
And you save it on your home screen. It's amazing.
Yeah, send you the link. What's the phone number to text to get the link?
You text MOOTE, M-O-O-T-E, to 36260, and then send me a text when you do it. It's free. Text me and let me know you got it. And I don't know, give me some drunk wisdom or what. You can send pictures, too.
You can... Uh-oh.
I know. I got one text, and this person was like, I live in a nudist colony. And she's like, can you send pictures on this? And I'm like, you know what? Let's probably not.
Yeah. No, not for you. You can't. If for some reason your particular number is blocked from this.
Actually, I kind of do want to know, because I was fascinated. I was like, I have a million questions for you about a nudist colony.
Yeah.
Because this person is a teacher. They're an elementary school teacher by day. And when they get to this nudist colony neighborhood, it's like a cul-de-sac with a fence around it, and just everybody rocks it nude if they want to. They wear, they're at the nude at the pool. They play in the community area. They can play naked volleyball. They do whatever they want to do, and they do it all naked.
You want it to be a community of just ridiculously gorgeous people. In your brain, the first place you go is there's just a bunch of hot girls running around and like maybe just one hot dude.
Like an old beer commercial.
Yes.
Like a parody of a beer commercial where you're like, let's take ourselves to some place, some fantasy world. We crack open a Budweiser, but it's like the X-rated version, so it's just naked hot people.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. It's a guy gardening. In the front, it's a guy doing a weird gardening thing with his tomatoes, because who grows tomatoes?
He's pulling carrots out.
Yeah, he's just pulling carrots out. He's planting new tomatoes, and he's got a beer gut, and he's naked.
It's funny. It's people who love being naked, and their big excuse is, well, I'm comfortable with my body. I'm like, okay, that's good. Good for you. You know who's not comfortable with your body? Society. We're not. That's why we made clothes. You look like someone took a flamethrower to a wax statue. This is not good. But to be fair, I don't know what these nudists in North Georgia are all about in terms of their look.
I'm running the visual of a flamethrower to a wax statue right now, so you're just going to have to...
It's a little bit melty.
Yeah, it's a little bit, and it's excessive. It's an excessive melt, is what it is.
But I feel like that's one of those things where being a teacher and being a nudist, or being a nudist in anything, you got to keep your work friends away from your profession or from your home friends, because those two worlds colliding means all sorts of like HR problems and violations.
Yeah, and some FBI involvement at some point.
If you're a teacher, for sure.
It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. I'm the Brad Nolan part. I'm still trying to remember the phone number to download this Brian Moote thing.
36260.
36260. So if you text Moote, M-O-O-T-E, to 36260, we'll send you a link to download this thing. You can actually text Brian directly. At some point, I'll jump on his phone and troll the crap out of you. But for now,
see my
Brian.
Comedy show dates. You can see, you can get the podcast here. You can get Amp Radio's podcast. You can get all sorts of fun stuff on there. I'm doing remarkably well this week, for the fact that I can't shower at my own apartment.
I keep hearing like hints and like weird cryptic messages about this apartment situation, and I don't know what's going on.
It's the most disgusting thing on the planet. So what happened was, about 3 weeks ago, I noticed my shower wasn't really draining, and I'm like, well, I take a shower at the gym a lot. I take maybe, when it comes to showers at my house, I don't shower a ton there anyway. So I'm like, why is the water not draining? And one day I went in there and there's water in there, and I was like, no one's taking a shower. I asked my buddy. He said no one taking a shower. Then my toilet like bubbled once when I was sitting in the living room, and water shot out of the toilet onto the floor.
No.
Like a fountain in my, like a bidet. It's like it turned into a bidet for a few seconds.
A dirty bidet, the opposite of a regular bidet.
So I keep telling them, like, hey guys, like there is seriously some pressure problems in the sewer lines. There's something jamming these sewer lines up, and it has nothing to do with me, but I'm on the bottom floor, so pressure is getting packed in there, and something's going on, and you're going to have a major problem. So they come over and they snake my toilet, and they're like, oh, use 1-ply toilet paper. And I'm like, I do. 2, mind your own business.
No,
and also,
hold on. We have to stop this whole thing.
Well, yeah, 1-ply sucks.
No, you can't do that. You're a grown man.
Yeah, no.
You got to stop with the 1-ply. And no plumber can tell me how to live my life.
Listen, I'm a grown man. It's not the men that stop the 1-ply. It's the women in your life that are like, I am not wiping myself with this. Like, I have delicate underparts, and I with this sandpaper that you scrub your butthole with, nah. I am not doing, like, you're in here, like, sanding things out of your butt.
My wife uses the wet wipe thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've switched over to that, too.
Yeah.
Just, not the whole time, but, I'll finish it off with those. I want it to be nice and fresh. Anyway, sidetrack. I mean, those could be attributing the problem, but that's not the problem. I come back on Sunday, and I walk into my bathroom, and it smells like human feces in my bathroom. It's a lot of bathroom talk today.
That's okay.
It smells like human feces.
Some days it's a bathroom day.
You never know.
Yeah.
Some days it's cancer, some days it's bathroom stories with a touch of nudity.
And some cheese.
The commander of cheese.
So I'm like, why does it smell like human poop in here? This is disgusting. And it was way too warm because my window was open in the bathroom and it's been 90 degrees all weekend or whatever. And I turned my light on, and the bottom of my bathtub, the entire thing is covered in what I'm assuming is a mixture of poop and toilet paper fragments, and very like it looks like dirt, but it's definitely disgusting sewage remnants.
So it looks as if the tub had filled up to a certain point and the water has drained out, but the remnants, the dryness, kind of like a dirty sink, like with a film, but it's
with
crap.
With chunks, though. With
chunks.
But it's
okay.
And you know from the smell that it's got some human poop in there. And it's the whole thing is just wretchedly disgusting. And so I tell my roommate, he talks to maintenance, they come over, they clean the bathtub for me, thank God. I didn't want to touch any of that. And then we bleached the holy hell out of it.
Right.
And then they're like, hey, we can't snake this line that on this side of the building until this car moves from the side of the building that we're not even sure if it's supposed to be parked there. I'm like, well, why don't you tow it? And they're like, well, we don't know whose it is. How? You run the building. How do you not know whose parking spaces are whose? So apparently someone in our building decided they were just going to park along the wall of my bathroom, like outside in the garage area, and just go on a vacation. So they're gone.
Oh.
And we have to wait until they come home. And I just say, hey, man, can we just get no, like I need to shower. I hate not showering in the mornings. I don't feel like I shower in the afternoons at the gym after I work out. But then in the morning, it's like I'll throw a hat on, but I just don't feel awake yet. And it just throws me off my game in the morning.
Yeah, for a morning schedule like ours, you have to shower in the morning or you're off the whole day.
That's how I wake up half the time. I go in there like one eye is like swollen shut and you're like, did I fight myself in my sleep last night? Was I punching myself in my own face?
So you're completely without the use of your bathroom with the exception of maybe washing your hands.
Yeah, the sink, but I'm also afraid to use my toilet.
Right.
Because I don't, listen.
You don't want to be sitting on it when it shoots water poop up at you.
Hell no.
Yeah.
That would be life-changing. That would be a life-changing situation if my own crappy toilet turned into a bidet at the last second and just shot a stream of like lukewarm water right, and you know that's going direct shot. That's going to connect 100%.
Oh, 100%.
That's like one of those things where, you ever throw a ball and you're like, the odds of this hitting someone are going to be 0, but it's like a family member and you're like, oh my God, that's right on.
Yeah, that's
dead on.
That's going to work.
It's going to be a headshot. If I tried to do that on purpose, it never would land. That water's going straight inside my butt and I don't want that to happen. So I'm not showering until next week, apparently now.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
Johnny got a toy golf set when he was 3, and from that day on, he was hooked. All he wanted to do was golf, golf, golf. He'd be on the links before school, after school. All he ever wanted was to go pro. And then, one day, when he was holding his grandson and thinking about his 12 handicap, Johnny realized it just might not happen for him. But you know what did happen for him? He switched to Geico and saved a bunch of money on car insurance. So that was good, and so was hanging out with his grandson.
Heads up, denim lovers. Old Navy's biggest denim sale ever is here. All jeans are on sale up to 60% off. Styles start at just $12 for adults, $8 for kids. Plus, this Saturday and Sunday only, don't miss the Jean a Day giveaway. Want a free pair of Old Navy's all-new jeans? Stop in for your chance to win and for up to 60% off all jeans. Now at Old Navy. Valid 9/16 to 9/24. Excludes in-store clearance. 5 per day per store. Select styles. Jean giveaway in stores only. See stores for details.